Big trouble in Little China.
That social credit system.
What do you think? It's like a Chinese social credit system?
Exactly. A framework, putting in place beta testing the network. Before you can sell alcohol to anybody in the goldfields, you have to get their ID, license, passport, whatever, scanned. It comes up here.
That machine tells you whether they're banned?
Yes.
And then if obviously if you sold to them, then the cops come after you?
Yes. There'll be a record. If they got caught with it and they said where they bought it, they'd come back here. It comes through scanned as, it comes up red.
It's North Korea, it's China, and the new member of this group, Western Australia. What a proud moment.
Big trouble in Little China.
I might be wrong, we might already be there.
Look out, guys!
The interests of China, not our national interests.
The leader of the Labor Party is the Chinese government's picket.
Big trouble in Little China.
They're constantly monitored by facial recognition cameras that are able to instantly put a face to a name. Now the Chinese are also ranked, given a mark out of a possible 950 points. For now, the number is a sort of bank credit rating, keeping track of everyone's spending habits.
A centralised, government-managed identity verification system. Everything about you is in the hands of government.
Like a giant vacuum, Alan. It soaks
Yes.
up all the information it can get from you. We don't know where it's coming from. We saw all that stuff with Kmart and Bunnings the other week, facial recognition, all this sort of stuff. This dystopian future is on it. Australians need to be alarmed about this. They need to be alarmed about this. This ultimately will come to Parliament in the next period, probably the next few months. And what it will do is set up the very basic setup for a social credit style system.
Before you can sell alcohol to anybody in the goldfields, you have to get their ID, license, passport, whatever, scanned. It comes up here, gives them whether or not they're on the banned drinkers register.
So if someone comes in here, that machine tells you whether they're banned?
Yes.
And then if you sold to them, then the cops come after you?
Yes. There'll be a record. If they got caught with it and they said where they bought it, they'd come back here and it comes through scanned as, it comes up red.
What do you think? It's like a Chinese social credit system?
Exactly. It seems to me like, it starts off with this, or you said something nasty on Facebook, you can't buy that ticket to wherever you want to go, or you've had too many burgers this month, so you can only have the vegan option, or you've had too much alcohol, so you can only have soft drinks, stuff like this.
Are you worried about this for the future? Or?
Yeah, I certainly am. I can't see any good coming of digital currency. No good to any of us, and the people up top will be able to roll in their power and enjoy keeping everybody doing, purchasing, thinking, saying what they're allowed to and what they're not allowed to, being restricted on what their money is spent on.
What's it called?
The Scantech is the machine. It's a Scantech scanner.
Are you sure we're not in communist China?
I think we're well on the way there. The way things are headed, the way people are allowing it to happen. People just shrug their shoulders and say, "Oh well, it's a good thing." People can't buy a drink if they're violent, things like this, but they don't see what's further down the line. The whole cashless digital thing, where you expiry dates on your bank accounts and things like that, where it's all headed.
Do you know Catherine Austin Fitz? She described this as she's a banker, a former banker. She said it's a digital concentration camp which they're planning on rolling out.
Yeah, it's absolute control.
The digital concentration camps, because that transaction control grid can be used to implement thousands and thousands of meta mandates when it goes into place. You put the passports or the IDs and the CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, together, and they can, if they decide you can't transact more than 5 kilometers from your home. You can't transact more than 5 kilometers from your home.
People have no idea. It's like, well, why not have a digital passport? Knows exactly what you spend on everything, so they can target you tax-wise with precision. It's like, oh, didn't think about that. It's like, yeah.
A framework, putting in place beta testing the network for identifying people who don't measure up to what the authorities say is required of people to be able to purchase alcohol. So, but that can be applied, to any.
I can't help but notice you got a Corona shirt. Remind you of anything that's happened in the last few years?
Yeah, it went viral.
And is critical because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance. If we want to stop this epidemic, we need not just to monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under their skin.
And Australians need to make a decision very, very quickly as to whether or not they're happy for their digital future to be one of surveillance, because I'm not. And
if you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you. Don't let it happen. It depends on you. Don't let it happen. It depends on you. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.